Black Widow sucked balls. Let's get right into it. No, I do not hate women. What are you looking at, MG Toe? As I was saying, Black Widow is actually one of my favorite characters in Marvel Comics, even the MCU. How Scarlett Johansson played the character since her first appearance was sublime, alongside the way her character was written in every movie. Fans begged Marvel for a Black Widow movie for years. So when they finally release it and it turns out to be this shit, it feels like a slap to the face. Feels like Faggy's taking the piss. This was always going to be a poorly timed movie. The movie's set right after Civil War, and that's when it should have come out. Instead, they churn out this messy piece of garbage in the year of our Lord 2021, something that really should not have happened. The story is barely trying to make the movie fun or watchable. The plot lines are nonsensical and idiotic, and the movie itself, as I mentioned, is badly timed. But I'm a fair man, so let's start with the good. And spoiler warnings for those who haven't seen it, but you're not missing too much. 3, 2, they brought Natasha back from the dead! No, they didn't. Anyways, the only real good thing about the movie is that Florence Pugh is severely underrated. Yelena Belova in the comics is an absolute queen, and the actress seems to pull it off perfectly. The humor lands on almost all her jokes, and she brings a likable and bubbly personality in a film devoid of likable characters. Yelena was super fun to watch, and every moment she was on screen, she stole the show, even from the titular character. I said titular. I have only known movie Yelena for a day and a half, but if anything happened to her, I would kill everyone in this room, then myself. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I like her better than her comics counterpart, as I like Natasha more in the comics. But this is just about the only real good thing that I can say about the movie. It's all downhill from here, baby. Hey guys, just cutting in to let you know that most of you aren't subbed, so hit the sub box and bell icon, really helps the channel. Thanks. Now, back to the video. Jesus Christ, where do I fucking begin? The movie has so many problems, whether you're a comic book reader or a movie pleb, that I don't think I can list them all. It's like a goddamn chainsaw anima, but at least the blade has a point. This has no point in the story of the greater MCU, and aside from a quick mid-credit scene where it basically sets up Yelena to join the Dark Avengers or the Thunderbolts or the fucking Runaways for all I care, there's no point. Everything else is about 5 years past its sell-by date. The opening scene establishes, ooh, spooky commies living among us. Very sus. Hey, look, an outdated meme for an outdated fucking movie. They do a decent enough job of kid Natasha and toddler Yelena getting screwed over by their own dad and being sent to become faceless assassins. Okay, fine. Good enough setup. Natasha is then shown sometime right after Civil War, outsmarting that dumb bastard Ross, aka Red Hulk from the comics. Fine. Then she's in Norway setting up in a shitty trailer somewhere. She gets a parcel from her sister, who was shown to get out of the Red Room's brainwashing through some red gas shit. Okay, the Red Room is chemically controlling the widows. Alright, I'll go with it. Lessens your storytelling potential, but I'm sure you can do things with it. But they don't do anything with it. Natasha goes to Budapest. Budapest. And gets into a completely unnecessary fight with Yelena. Why? No clue. The plot demanded a superhero fighting each other clip before they teamed up, so they do. Nat learns about the guy who runs the Red Room, Dreyfus, whose death had been particularly exaggerated. The audience finds out about Nat killing Dreyfus' daughter to ensure his death. He's not dead though, and I have a sinking feeling that she's not either. Yelena explains that she wants to free the widows, so naturally they get attacked. They break out their shit make-believe dad out of jail, who's a walking symbol of masculinity gone horribly wrong, and throughout the whole movie, the Red Guardian is treated like comic relief. He's a goddamn joke. Fair play to David Harbour though, he plays his role to perfection. He does what he can with the shit script they gave him, but goddamn, it's nearly insufferable to watch him half the time. They make him look like such a rank amateur that it's hard to take him seriously at any point, which undermines the plot of the film that is going for a serious tone. Speaking of, the whole film is undermined a lot by your typical MCU tickle comedy. There are some movies that can pull off the whole shitty comedy gimmick, but you don't have Taika Waititi at the helm here, and most of the comedy not involving Yelena comes off super cringy. After an uncreative set piece of a prison break, Alexei, aka Red Guardian, tells them that he doesn't know jack shit about where the Red Room is, and their best bet is to find Mummy. He wonders why they are both pissed. Geez, Alexei, how many little girls did you see their parents willingly sent to child gulag? He makes a period joke, to which Yelena retorts with Black Widows not having a fucking uterus, grossing him out. They go to Melina, the mom, and she explains in a shitty exposition dump that the reason they were in America was to unlock the mind or some bullshit. And then they get into this comical argument. Alexei and Melina treat each other like they're a couple of love-struck teenagers. And there's a whole bit about fat-ass Alexei trying to get into his old suit. Haha, very funny, Marvel, proving once again that body positivity is for women. Men who are large are just obese and comic fodder. Nice. I wouldn't have bitched about it if the fuckers did it to help the plot, but Alexei's involvement has no effect on the whole story. You could conceivably cut him out of the whole film and you'd still end up with the same film. After their Fall family fiasco, Melina and Natasha scheme and get them all to the Red Room, and a pretty bad version of an MCU style CGI scene later, they win, everybody goes home, yada yada, boring popcorn flick stuff, but you know what? All of this could have been tolerated. Now, I don't require intellectual integrity from Marvel movies, but Faggy just couldn't help himself, could he? He had to do it. He had to subvert expectations. They did my boy Tasky dirty. There are no words for my frustration over Taskmaster. Literally every single media that he has appeared on has done a better job to portray him. He is the worst MCU villain that I've ever seen, and that is one high fucking bar to hit. You remember when I said Dreyfus' daughter will be back? Hell yeah, she would be. They made her fucking Taskmaster. You know, I'm used to Hollywood virtue signaling and trying to get points from liberals by attaching a vagina or spare melanin onto characters, and I don't even get mad about that anymore. But instead of a fucking character, we get a suit that has an AI that can mimic moves in the suit's memory, which, from trailer footage and the film itself, looks like a dude. When Taskmaster, and I'm using air quotes as big as my house, takes off his helmet to reveal to be Dreyfus' daughter, I laughed at how comical it looks. The stunt actor was clearly a cis male dude, whereas the character is portrayed by Olga Kurilenko, sorry if I butchered that, I'm not Russian, in what looked like a suit 10 sizes too big and broad for her. It was almost funny, had it not been a tragic character assassination. Y'all remember when Ben fucking Kingsley was playing Mandarin in Iron Man 3? And it turns out he's just an actor in the movie playing the character of Mandarin? Yeah, same vibes. Why must Faggy do this? After Thanos and Killmonger, I thought we had gotten over the whole obsession of subverting expectations. I had hoped that the whole bullshit trend would die off after the Star Wars franchise and Game of Thrones shot themselves in the foot with it. But I guess Hollywood is only interested in shocking the audience, not writing a coherent story. Even after all that, fine. Why are we referring to Taskmaster as a dude? Why is it that he's clearly LARPing as a dude? Who's Dreyfus trying to fool? Seriously, what's the in-universe reasoning for Taskmaster clearly being a dude up until the last second? Can Dreyfus see past the fourth wall? Is he secretly Deadpool? It really grinds my gears. There's literally no reason for Taskmaster to be referred to as a man, being treated as a man, look like a man, with clearly the structure of a muscular man, when the pilot inside the suit is a fucking brain dead woman. And that's not an insult, she's literally brain dead under daddy's commands. This was a movie about 6 years, way too late. What a shit show of a movie. When the Avengers first came out, a friend of mine who didn't read the comics asked what Budapest was all about, and I told her that it's something the MCU had made up. People like her, like me, wanted to learn so much about that incident, and this shit show is what we're left with? Fuck you, Disney! Now, please don't fuck up the last episode of Loki, absolutely the last thing we need. Well, I guess that's it for the video. I'll see you all later. Sub to the channel if you haven't, because it really helps. Thanks!